All right, so it's recording. So whenever you want to start the show, unless you want to have some fun banter. I like the fun banter, but do whatever you want. You're the host.
I'm glad you
Okay.
said that. Yeah.
That doesn't sound good,
Yeah,
Brian.
that's. Do you want to talk about that?
It sounds like you're planning something, maybe.
Yeah. It feels like you're planning to do like a co-hosting thing while I'm trying to host.
I don't have any plans. Whatever you want to do. You're the host.
No.
Brian, if you were having a dinner party, would you tell people who was coming, or would you make them guess who's coming to dinner?
Oh, wow.
If it was going to be, I hope it's Sidney Poitier, then I would have them guess who was coming to dinner.
Guess who's coming to dinner? Welcome everyone to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. This is episode 6, season 1. Guess who's coming to dinner? I'm your host, Jamal Newman. With me as always, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Reeves. I'm not giving my last name for legal purposes.
I want everyone to take note that now the intro involves Jamal saying, "With me as always."
Yeah. You guys are with me, as always. I've always been the host. You're always with me.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Do you want to introduce who you are, former host?
I'm Brian, former host, current lackey, apparently, in Jamal's podcast.
Yes.
I'll get the coffee.
So last night for dinner, I had a homemade pan pizza with boar's head pepperoni and freshly shredded mozzarella cheese.
Oh boy, I had pan-seared salmon, and then I might have said this last time. I don't remember. We have this a lot now. Spaghetti fried, like cut zucchini.
Zoodles.
Yeah, zoodles. Yeah, and like a vinaigrette.
All right, Brian. And
Brian,
what pizza did you put in the oven?
Yeah, what pizza did you have?
You guys ever before starting?
Don't avoid the question.
No, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna answer the question.
We'll just remember to say whether or not it rose or not.
Yeah.
Before doing this podcast, I would have thoughts. So, listeners, I'm a big man. I'm a big guy. I get greeted as big guy a lot on the street. I'm a man of size. Before starting this podcast, I was like, why am I so much fatter than everybody else? Like, I don't feel like I eat that much more than everyone else. I have 3 meals a day, and that's pretty much what it is. Last night, I prepared for you a California Pizza Kitchen frozen pizza with garlic and 3 kinds of cheese. And it wasn't a self-rising, it was a thin crust. And I don't feel like I have pizza that often, but apparently that's all that I eat. So,
well, okay.
Well, the California pizzas, I think, are slightly healthier. So
I think by healthier, you mean it was smaller than the DiGiorno pizza.
Yeah, just by serving size, it's a little bit healthier. Yeah. But, I mean, the makeup is probably just as bad. Plus, I mean, 3 cheeses.
Yeah, 3 cheeses, but no red sauce. It had some garlic sauce on it. So probably meant like more butter.
Mm.
It wasn't as good as the DiGiorno.
There's some chefs this week who wish they put more butter in their dishes that they made. We're at episode 6. This is the halfway point of the season. Again, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is the title of this one. I think we should get right into the intro of one of the first things we hear in this episode. Brian, if you can go ahead and play what Andrea says about Miguel in the beginning of this episode.
How do you feel about Miguel throwing you under the bus? Like, what's that about?
His whole world is staked on whether or not he's the top chef, so he's going to do anything to make himself look good.
I think Miguel will be the next one to go unless he really cleans up his act. He hasn't shown grace toward the other chefs. He's been very overly competitive to his detriment.
So that's Andrea starting off coming up hot for Miguel, who I guess has not shown enough grace to the other competitors in the Top Chef season. I'm not sure you're supposed to show grace. I don't know if you're supposed to, before every meal, thank God for the meal that was just made. But apparently that is something you're supposed to have been doing this entire season. And he has not been doing that. And, Andrea's just letting him know.
I mean, it makes sense to me that she would call that out because it does. I felt like something was missing from Top Chef, and it does appear to be God is missing. And it would be nice if more often, the chefs just pointed out that it's like, hey, I made this for you, but to be honest, God had a big hand in what I just put together, and if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't all be here. I wish that was just we were reminded of that all the time. Whenever they give food out, I feel like they should say that.
Yeah, it'd really make me feel like I was there a little more if I saw them do the things that I do at my house, which is like hold hands with everyone at the table and say grace, thanking God for the bounty that I'm about to absorb.
So now I'm a little worried. Are you eating like bounty like paper towels? Because you did. I mean, like, listen, I know how to use the term bounty, but the way that you said it, and then also saying absorb afterwards.
It seems like you're eating the paper towels.
Yeah.
Less calories than a frozen pizza. So it could be worse.
I'm not sure that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure that's true either. I'm pretty sure a tree has more calories.
There's no way that's true. Have you seen what a frozen pizza has inside of it?
Have you seen the size of a tree that's cut down and make a bounty paper towel?
Do you think that one tree makes one roll?
An absorbent roll, extra thick? Yes.
It's got to be a really thick tree to do.
Why do you think they started telling people they now cut them in the half rolls instead of a full square? It's now that rectangle. People are using up too many calories to clean up messes. Yeah. Speaking of cleaning up messes, why don't we take a listen to to Miguel? You play the second clip. This is Miguel, kind of getting razzed a little bit by the team, but he makes a mess, and then he doesn't like that he has to clean up his own mess. Go ahead and play that, Brian.
You put like palm olive in there?
Probably. What's going on? It sides all over the place? Great, everyone saw the mess I made, and no one offered to help clean. So I guess I'll just do it then. Thank you.
So that's a classic move from people who make messes, and then other people call out that they made a mess, and then they, instead of just cleaning up the mess themselves, they go, "Oh, great. So I have a mess to clean up, and you're going to make me clean it myself." Great.
Yeah, he didn't want to take any kind of responsibility for what he had done. I like the intro of this episode because it feels like some kind of checkoff play. Because it's like Andrea first says like he needs to clean up his act.
Yeah.
And then then Miguel puts some kind of like dishwashing soap or something incorrect.
Hold on. What he did was I've made the mistake, but I'm also not a top chef. If you put regular dishwashing soap in the dishwasher, it gets too sudsy and it will come out the bottom and the sides of the dishwasher. Yes. You have to use dish detergent because it's actually not as sudsy.
Okay, and I hope our fans are writing this down because that's an important rule.
I know 12 of you are like, holy crap, that was my Friday night.
That explains why it's like so soapy in my kitchen.
It's so soapy every single time. I thought I was saving money not buying extra soap because this is the soap I use to clean the dishes. So why can't it work in the dishwasher?
You don't have to take it from the Pod Chef boys. You don't have to be a top chef to do the dishes the right way.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyone can do it.
Also, a lot of people think it takes like putting a lot of dish soap to get it super sudsy. Actually, like a drop of Dawn is all it takes to mess up your dishwasher and to get it everything sudsy. Yeah. Anyways, that's what Miguel does, and he's feeling some kind of way about it. He didn't like the fact that he had to clean up his own mess. After this, there's when you're watching the episode after this, then Harold goes, "All right, we ready to go, kids?"
Really talking down to him. And it's like right after Miguel was like, he was clearly trying to clean up his act, and the only way he knew how, like an adult, and then he didn't know how to do dishes, I guess. Yeah. So it blew up in his face.
Super unfair.
I don't want to make you guys feel bad, but if Miguel, he said he was raised by just his mom. I think he might even had mentioned they ate like a lot of like packaged meals or like microwave meals. So it's probably low income. A lot of low-income people don't have dishwashers.
Okay, so I guess we need to either cut everything Jamal and I just said or just cut what Brian said. So in editing,
We'll make that
Whoever
determination. Yeah, in editing, make that determination.
All
Well,
right, well,
Brian did say something good. Brian said low income. That leads us into the quickfire challenge because the chefs had to take 20 minutes to create an appetizer using $3 worth of ingredients. They had all the ingredients set out on the table and they're all priced as like 15 cents here and there. And they'd use that to make an appetizer using $3 worth of ingredients. And then the guest judge for the episode was television host and author Teddy Allen.
Yeah, it's Ted
Not-
Allen.
not Tim Allen.
It's
Not
not
Tim Allen.
No.
I
Which-
really was hoping it was going to be Tim Allen.
Yeah, people can't see Brian right now, but Brian has a fence and his face is behind the fence and he's wearing a bucket hat and he keeps saying, "Hey, Tim." He's like trying to be the neighbor in
I want you to
Home
say his name.
Improvement.
Say his name.
It's oh wait, do I know his name? It's not. This is Wilson.
I think it is Wilson.
Is it Wilson?
I don't know. I think it is.
I
Wilson.
don't know.
Well,
Is it
then what's
Wilson?
his friend's name? What's his friend's name whose face you always see? That's not
Um,
Wilson.
Tom Arnold.
I think it must be Wilson behind the fence because
Yeah, that's what I
we all
mean.
know Wilson is a face painted on a volleyball. So you
Yes.
couldn't
Yeah.
see his body.
Yes.
That makes sense. And I do want to tell our fans that like this isn't a home improvement podcast. We are doing a home improvement rewatch podcast, but it's not this one.
It's
It's
called
called-
Pod Improvement. Be on the lookout for it.
It's
We're
still in development right now. We're just developing the idea. It's not like a finished product like this.
Trying
but
to
it'll
improve
be
the
on-
idea.
Should we share some of the segments that we're gonna have for Pod Improvement that we're thinking of doing?
Yeah. I've got one segment called Space Host Coast to Coast, and that's where you get so good at hosting podcasts you can do it on any coast in the U.S.
And that's for Pod Improvement, the Home Improvement podcast.
Yes. Yes.
I get that our Top Chef podcast isn't super Top Chef related, but that seems so far from Home Improvement.
No, it is home improvement because if you're good enough to host a podcast on either coast, that means you have a home that's set up on either coast to be able to record and edit a podcast, which means you've increased your home lifestyle tenfold. Trust me.
So this is off from what you guys are talking about, but I do have a question that's home improvement related.
Okay.
Little weird.
We
thing to
all
say.
we all own homes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, it's related to the show. So Tom Arnold wasn't on Home Improvement, right? But it
I thought he
feels
was.
like he was.
It definitely feels like he was. No, he was on Roseanne.
He was on Roseanne because he was married to Roseanne. But I don't know why. Like when you were talking about it, I was like, it feels right to say, yeah, Home Improvement with Tom Arnold, but he wasn't on it. Why is that? Is this like that Shazam thing?
Maybe it is. It's Shaq and Shazam.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Allen kind of sounds like Tom Arnold if you have a cold.
Oh wait, his okay, so the guy who works with him just feels like a Tom Arnold type.
Richard Karn. That's his real name. Richard Karn.
He comes across as like a Tom Arnold type. I forgot. Well, maybe I'm sure Tom Arnold was in the show for one episode. I'm sure of it.
He probably did a guest spot, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he did a
Feels
guest spot.
They're
Okay.
free at the same time.
Okay.
Are you guys starting to like Harold a lot more on this show?
I like his involvement in this episode, which was he just talked about how all the reasons, and maybe it was just this particular time it came up a lot, but all the reasons he likes to pull out his hair. Because I feel like every time they interviewed him, he was like, "Oh, I gotta pull my hair out over this or whatever." He said it at least twice, which is too much, especially for a guy that basically has no hair.
You want to know something that makes me pull my hair out? How many times Andrea has to mention her food will give you a bowel movement? Brian, go ahead and play the clip.
Whenever I make a meal, I like to get all 5 flavors, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and pungent, within one meal.
Wow, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and pungent sounds like my coworkers.
So this is a carrot salad that I made with a honey mustard dressing. I'll help move you. You have a nice PM.
It's been weeks. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
So what I find out after watching the episode and seeing that clip was that Ted Allen is about to die because he hasn't had a bowel movement in a couple weeks, which by all like scientific and medical rights, you are like close to dying if that's the case because you're backed up with toxicity in your body.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he had a little forkful of that carrot salad because now he's going to have a good BM and get cleared out. She saved his life with food.
And it does make sense, like, because when he walked in, well, when they like rolled him in, like he was so bloated, like he could barely move around the set, and so like thank God for Andrea to like give him something that's gonna make him move his bowels, and it was such a relief for him. Like you can't really hear it in the clip, but like if you watch it, like there's like tears coming down his face because he's like,
You feel bad watching it because like when they're like, "Oh, here, just have like one little bite," he's like, "I couldn't possibly fit any more food inside of me."
Any more
Like,
food?
no, you have to take just one bite. And he's like, "I will literally explode."
Yeah, usually people are just joking when they say
but
that.
you could like
yeah,
see
and
the
they're like,
tension.
you signed a contract, you gotta
Yeah.
do it. He's like, I can't
No
do
more,
it.
no more, please,
The,
no more.
It's like a YouTube video. That's how old I am. I guess it's TikTok or Instagram. It's like a guy with like goggles on, putting rubber bands around a watermelon until it explodes.
Yeah,
That's what Ted
exactly
Allen
it.
was doing. He was just like, you could just
Yeah.
like wait, and the audience just like sit and just like everyone's like, oh god, it's gonna happen. You like hear it's like a boat, just like the swelling of like
burst
wood.
open.
But then he ate some carrot shit inside of a radicchio and probably shit his brains out.
But I gotta say, if anyone's out there thinking, well, she definitely won, she did not.
No.
Steven won the quick fire challenge because he made poached baby manila clams over grilled sea beans for $3. And I don't know about you, but every week Steven, when he presents a quick fire, says, I looked at everyone else's and mine's the greatest, and I should win.
Yeah, he's
This time,
very
yes, go ahead.
pretentious about his food. His main thing. I mean, he definitely is an elevated chef. Like he seems to be a little like a cut above a couple of people. There's definitely a tier of people that are doing very well. It's kind of like Tiffany, Leanne, Harold, and Steven. Oh my gosh, my dog. So I made this French omelet earlier, and he got so pissed because he was like, I think he was angry because I didn't butter it afterwards.
Yeah, your dog hates when you're not following proper French cuisine techniques.
And for new listeners, my dog, I don't know if I even explained this before. He's basically a French chef. It's just very abusive. He screams a lot, but
That
he's
is
very
a French
particular. All right, he looks pissed. Anyway, I don't know. Hopefully we get through this.
I hope so.
What was I talking about? It probably wasn't important. I don't know. The bowel movement thing, was that what
Yeah, let's just say that.
No,
You're
we're
talking about
past the bowel
Steven
movement,
not being
talking
thankful.
about-
You're
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
Steven being thankful and graceful in victory.
Oh yeah, he was. I have lost my train of thought.
The way that he says like Ted Allen described my food as like it's like outstanding. Like the words that he uses, he's so
Yeah.
proud of himself.
Well, why don't we hear Steven gracefully accept him being announced winner?
For me, the front runners were Harold, Tiffany, Leanne, and Stephen. Leanne, I appreciate very much your presentation. It was elegant, it was beautiful, it was very well realized. Stephen, exquisite presentation, wonderful flavors, great balance. Tiffany, I love to receive an appetizer with choices on it. Harold, rich, delicious, made me think of fall, great seasonal work. So to all of you, thanks, congratulations for getting this far. And the winner of today's challenge is... Stephen.
Thank you. I knew that my dish was the best. Ted Allen explained it to be extraordinary, exquisite. It's always good to win.
Ted Allen explained it to me. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary, exquisite. So yeah, this is the first time Steven's actually said that he had the best dish, and it actually was the
I
best
do have to
dish.
note really quickly though, the reason that long pause is there, and Tom emailed me about this because I emailed Tom and I was like, "Hey, there's a super long pause between when Ten Allen announces that Steven is the winner. Like, why was that so long?" And he said that it's an editing thing because what actually had happened is that Ted Allen says Bryan Cranston is the winner, and they have to like cut all that. And they're like, no, it's he's playing a character named Steven. He's not Bryan Cranston. And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Uh, and so then they cut all that, and the guess they instead of like cutting it, they just kind of like cleared the audio. So there's this long pause at the fill with music to like get rid of the edit. So it's just an editing like issue to cover up the
Oh,
mistake.
okay.
That makes
glad-
sense.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also, like, Steven looked very confused when the name. So I think they probably used the cut where he said Bryan Cranston because he kind of like looked. It took him a while to kind of be like, oh, I guess he's referring to me.
But
But
I'm
it's
playing
like
a character right
he's
now.
like, but
It's-
I Bryan Cranston didn't win anything. It was the
Yeah.
character Steven that I'm
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. So that was good. That was good for thank you for Tom for sending that email for Brian to clear that up.
You seem
So-
angry that Tom emailed me. Did he not email you this week?
Nope, didn't email me, and that's okay. I don't need an email from him every week.
Did you get a tweet or
I'm
anything?
sure
You
we'll
get
get
like a
one.
DM or anything?
Didn't get a DM. I didn't get a text. Didn't get a message. Didn't get a snail mail. I got nothing from Tom this week, and that's okay. I'm okay with it.
I didn't get anything from him either. I was actually kind of worried about him.
No, I mean he sent me.
Yeah,
he sent me.
usually.
I mean the email that I sent that he got back to me was like fine. I mean it did say sent from my iPhone, jumping out of a plane, no parachute.
Oh, you know what? You know why he probably had to send it to you? Because he was like, this is a duty for someone who's not the host. So he probably had to email you, knowing that you were doing grunt work right now, and that me and Reeves, who are the primary hosts, didn't
Yeah.
have the capacity in our email to handle that and deal with that issue. So thank you for taking that in. I mean, 'cause, we closed the door on you hosting, opened the door on you on being correspondence gatherer. So thank you.
I really took my knees out on that one. I was feeling pretty good about being the only person getting an email from Tom, but
I mean, to be honest, it's a relief for me. It was so much work.
Yes, it's a lot of work to get an email from Tom, then have to respond to it.
that one hurts.
You know what else is a lot of work? The Elimination Challenge this week, which is when the chefs had to create a 7-course dinner party for Ted Allen to celebrate the launch of his latest cookbook. And at first, each chef was able to choose which course they wanted to execute. However, Tom Colicchio, being the monkey wrench throwing gunslinger of the West that he is, threw his first huge monkey wrench into the Elimination Challenge, the first huge one of the season, really. I mean, this is like where you get to see where it all started with Top Chef and Tom Colicchio switching it up on the chefs this week.
Yeah, and something that they bring up a lot in this episode, which I don't know if they've said this before, but like no one on this show is a pastry chef. Which means none of them know how to make anything like remotely sweet or anything that could even pass as a dessert. None of them can do that. I don't know if they brought that up before or if they ever bring it up again, but I just want to make sure it's clear to everyone that none of them are.
I'm glad you brought that up because in the discussions of who's going to cook what, Tiffany came up with a great idea. And why don't we take a listen to Tiffany's idea?
None of us are pastry chefs, so I asked Steven to take the pastry spot because he had immunity, and Tom Colicchio was standing right there.
I have full confidence in Steven's ability to...
Steven, how do you feel about that?
It's no problem at all. I'd like to start the meal or end the meal. Ending the meal is just fine with me.
It was perfect, the way the timing worked out, so he really didn't have a choice but to do it.
Looking forward to it. Take care. I'll see you later.
That at the end right there where he says looking forward to it, you can't see it, but when you watch the episode, he's got this smile on his face, and I'm like, oh no, you guys just gave the game up to Tom Colicchio, and you thought you had beaten this challenge by you're all gonna make the dish you know how to make the best. And like Tom clearly was like, well, you done fucked up now.
Yeah, I think also in that email, in that chain of emails, I followed up and I was like, hey, like, how'd you come up with this like great like way to do this challenge? And he said, honestly, like, I didn't think about it until that moment. Like, as soon as he has that interaction and they're like, oh, we've solved your little Riddler. Like, we've answered your questions 3. We can cross this bridge, you troll. We're gonna give the dessert to Steven, who has immunity, or he's the only one who can't go home. They haven't said immunity yet. And he goes, oh, I've been bested, but then no. Inspiration strikes, and he says, oh, I'm looking forward to it. Because he was being real sneaky.
He was being very devilish. And, our listeners at home that maybe have seen the new Batman trailer and you're like, well, who's playing the Riddler? It is Tom Colicchio. Like,
yeah, it's Tom Colicchio in the new movie, the new Batman movie.
Yeah. He's the original Riddler.
So why don't we listen to Tom Colicchio's very first monkey wrench that completely and utterly turned this challenge upside down?
You are responsible for the course that you are doing. You're going to be judged on that course. However, you can help each other or not. It's entirely up to you. Part of being a top chef is being able to handle pressure, and part of handling pressure is being able to cook whatever is thrown at you. They shouldn't have a problem with this.
Oof. And right there, he tells him at the end, doesn't matter that I came in here and made you repick the courses that you're doing. You're a top chef, so you shouldn't have a problem with this at all. Now get to work, you monkey wrenches.
He seems almost kind of defensive about it. Like when he
this
said
is my
it,
great
like,
idea.
I came up with the thing that's helping you, and then they all got like, it shouldn't be a problem. They should be happy that I gave them this, that I threw this monkey wrench at them.
He's almost pissed off that they thought they solved the the elimination. And he's like, well, now you made me mad and now you got to do this. And if you say that it's bad, well, you're bad and do it anyways.
This is, of course, I'm sure that, I wonder if he had ran that idea by Ted Allen. Because Ted Allen's having this big dinner party with very high profile guests.
Yeah.
And then Tom's just like, I'm going to fuck all the food up.
I actually don't think he did, because if you watch the episode, every time food comes out, Tom has to look like, oh, brother, what did I do?
Yeah.
Every time food comes out, they ask him, like, so is everyone in the back? Do they have any kind of reactions to when you gave him the old swapperoonie? And he was like, yeah, everyone had a reaction. It's gonna look weird. He does not look animated at all. He doesn't look excited to taste a lot of the food. He seems shocked when food comes out and it does taste good. Okay, so not every chef took to the change in the rules and the turning the tables upside down by Tom Colicchio very well. One chef in particular, our favorite, Miguel, well, he was having a hard time. Why don't you play that clip?
Flawless. Can we pause it and just talk? There's more to this clip, but nothing is. You in the clip, you see him, and he has like a Tupperware full of white substance, and he pours all of it. It's an absurd amount of either sugar or salt. And then he tastes it. He put a finger in the sauce, and he tastes it, and he says, "Oh man, oh boy, I did a doozy."
Doozy. And that right there, when you say a word like doozy, it captures just how bad you messed up, because no one uses doozy lightheartedly. You know you messed up when you use the word doozy.
Yeah, I mean, like other like historical moments when doozy was done, of course, when
Boston Massacre, Crispus Attucks comes out of the Starbucks, looks left, looks right, and says, "Oh no, what a doozy!"
I think that clip tickles me so much, and I think it's because Miguel visually kind of reminds me of like someone that would be in like the Three Stooges universe.
Yes.
So like the act of like a chef putting, which I guess can happen, but it is kind of funny that it's like he puts salt in instead of sugar.
Yes.
And then him calling it a doozy, and how it just felt like something out of like some kind of like 1900s whatever, like slapstick comedy. He's such a joy. I enjoy Miguel.
Oh, man. I did a real doozy. What do you think I did, Leanne? Ah, man. I did a real doozy. I confused salt for sugar without tasting it.
Are you kidding me? I had the cheese course, which got passed to Miguel, and that was a disaster. He f***ed up the sorbet. He put salt instead of sugar.
I'm in the weeds.
So I just want to say, in the previous episode, we heard someone say seasoning, Dave, is cooking 101. Cooking 201 is knowing how to pick the right seasoning.
Yeah. So when you're in class, 101 is just knowing to season, but at that point you're just throwing whatever the fuck you want your dish.
Yeah.
But when you get to 201, your next class, it's like, okay, hold up, you got to put the right things.
Yes. It's
in
not just
the right
seasoning,
dish.
it's putting the right in the right. And what we're seeing here is this is a classic cooking 201 mistake. Not making sure that sugar and salt are being used correctly. I mean, to just grab a substance that looks like sugar in a kitchen and just throw it wildly into a dish, knowing you don't have enough to remake the dish, is borderline psychopathic for a top chef to do.
I'm trying to figure out like the events that took place that led to it that we didn't see, because it's like, wouldn't he have it measured out?
I thought that they would because they went shopping.
Yeah.
So I thought that they would have only had the ingredients that they actually had to put in, but apparently they used all the like confectionery and stuff that was in the kitchen. They got
Yeah,
to
they had
use.
access to all the
So when
candy
he went to go find sugar, he just assumed, oh, this bucket must be the sugar bucket. It couldn't possibly be salt.
Okay. And so, but you know what? This makes sense with someone who is a chef, but not a pastry chef. Like he doesn't know the difference. And also, you know, when you're just cooking, like you can kind of feel out measurements of things, especially when you're like messing with salt. But like with baking, like you do have to be very exact.
Very exact.
So
yeah.
Go ahead.
I just think that those kind of skills that you get from baking should still transfer over to cooking, where you have more freedom, but it's still a sweet science. Like if you're not doing precise, like, because all it takes is one little like a teaspoon of salt too much, and now your food's too salty.
Right.
1 tablespoon of salt too less, and it's like, well, this food's just bland now, which is Dave's big problem. But it's still a sweet science, and like I feel like chefs, especially in this show, are very cavalier with how they're seasoning things and just like eyeballing it, like, oh, I figured I can eyeball it. But so many chefs get their seasoning wrong, which again is cooking 101.
It's a little ridiculous. Working in teams means working in teams, but completing the dish that you've selected. If this is how it is, then I'm going to have Leanne make my dishes from here on out, and I'll just serve them to you and take the praise.
Crap. Someone go get an umbrella because the sun needs help peeking through that
There was
shade.
a lot of shady moments in this episode. There's like that great Dave shady moment, and then Tom has two crazy shady moments involving Miguel in the name of this cheese, because he like forgets the name of the cheese twice, which like cool, it's a weird cheese, it's not his dish, but like both times Tom has this look on his face that's just like, you don't know the name of the cheese, you fucking moron. Like,
you're embarrassing me in front of fucking Ted Allen, you fucking
when he
prick.
like introduces it the first time, he's like, it's a classic French cheese, and then Tom's like, do you know the name of it? And he's like, no, I forgot. And he's like, it's Fordham-Bear or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
Fond de Bear.
Yeah. So I feel like everyone has experienced this, right? Where it's like there's something that you can't pronounce, and then like you're forced to pronounce it and you say it wrong, and then it's like your nightmare to have someone publicly ask you continuously, because it's like if you get it wrong and you're in like a public situation, it's very hard to then like get it solidified in your brain so you can say it correctly afterwards. And it really was like Tom, like he like marked that early, like he saw that Miguel didn't know it, and he was like, oh, I'm definitely going to ask him multiple times because I want to like exert my dominance or something like that over him. And I felt for Miguel, especially when they're at the later, when he brings it up again, and it's like
it doesn't have to happen.
Like,
let it go, Tom.
Just let it go. It's not a big deal.
He's already in the bottom three, and he's just like, so Miguel, you remember the name of that cheese? He's just like, oh fuck. Um,
And like Tom's like looking at the camera, he's like, "You see what
He's like, watch,
I'm
how I
doing
do
this
it,
guy
man."
again." Fucking nailed him.
Fucking
I,
destroyed
I, don't,
Can't even pronounce this French cheese.
I don't want to do the audience a disservice of not referencing Stephen lancing the champagne in the beginning, and he like makes some reference to Napoleon. I think his like definition is like Napoleon used to do this to celebrate his victories, and we're gonna do this to celebrate our victories in the kitchen, and it's like very loosely tied to that. They could have just said like, "It looks cool, watch this shit." Like we don't need this like Napoleon thing.
I thought for a second that he was going to mess up and it wasn't going to come off, but then it did, and a big, huge sigh of relief came over me. So I was like, "This would be the worst beginning to this night of dinner for Ted Allen if you say you're going to do this big lancing and it doesn't break."
Yeah. Or he just like shatters the entire bottle, like glass goes everywhere.
And there's all over the
Yeah, he
place.
does feel like he's like christening a boat instead of
Yeah.
like people
Yeah.
just
Which is
do it now.
bad luck.
Listen, the cooking that we did in the kitchen just smashes it on the table.
Yeah. Which is also it's bad luck for a ship. I work for the Navy, so I see this a lot. When they christen a new ship and they smash the bottle against it, if the bottle doesn't break, that's a big deal. Like it's almost like the ship now is cursed. So breaking the bottle and christening is a big deal. That bottle needs to
And then
break.
you learned that from watching the prequel to Ghost Ship.
Sure.
That would get laughs.
Sure.
I get it.
You said it was it's a cursed ship, ghost ship. It's got ghosts on it. You know.
So all the chefs cook. They serve their meals. Some better than others, like usual. One chef that we just talked about who did a doozy, lets it be known that he's not having the best day. So why don't you play this next clip?
Yeah, this is
clip
kind
11.
of sad, actually. Like, it's not really nice. I feel kind of bad for Dave.
Miguel, you okay?
I'm fine.
It's the quietest I've ever heard you.
Oh, come on.
Well, I had a bad day.
You
I mean, do you go home and jump for joy when you have a bad day at work?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Fucking Dave's response is heartbreaking.
Yeah, because Dave realizes, holy crap, I'm not supposed to be jumping for joy when I have a bad day.
Oh, is that why?
He didn't know. Yeah.
That's why he said no, though. He's like, I mean, yeah, but I guess I'm supposed to say no right here. That's why Tiffany didn't say anything, because Tiffany's like, I fucking jump for joy. What's joy? So I feel bad for old Doozy. Miguel's having a hard time this episode.
They also kind of like really produce up the food for him, because when it's at the table, they all kind of like it.
Yeah, they do like it. And they love his little cracker.
Yeah, and then like, it's one of those things that Top Chef does sometimes, where it's like, yeah, the food's okay, but it's not what you said it was going to be, and that's what we're mad about.
Yeah, that's why that's what we're upset about. I want to also say, like, in the fact that he's having a doozy and all this stuff, this is the episode where like the chefs decide to talk the most crap, I think, and like Tiffany really opening it up about like being this like, I'm gonna step up. She thinks stepping up is talking trash about other chefs in the show, apparently, because during the winners elimination, when they were talking about who wins this challenge, she had this to say.
How well did you think things worked in the kitchen?
It was interesting because with the cheese dish, I sat down with Miguel for about 5 minutes. I went over the ingredients, actually gave him recipes, and from somewhere across the kitchen, I heard the word salt.
He used salt instead of sugar?
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't have the
It's
sorbet.
like the cook's nightmare to like use salt instead of sugar.
If the three of you were voting someone off, I mean, based on performance in the kitchen, is Miguel someone who you think should go?
It's a tough call,
I'll step up. Yes. Honestly, I think Miguel flipped out a little bit, and he got himself into a headspace that he was trying to dig himself out of the entire time.
It was a shame to see, to be honest with you, because, I don't think that Miguel is at the bottom of the ladder. I think there are people that are weaker than him.
Who's weaker?
Andrea, Dave.
Miguel did his best.
I also love you can't see it's a clip, but I think Tiffany makes a face when he's like, he's not the weakest person. Tiffany's face is like, fuck.
Yeah, Tiffany's like, have we met? Have you met Miguel? He's definitely the weakest in my book. But I also like how Steven finally got a chance to jump in there and be like, yeah, Andrea needs to go.
Yeah, he's had it
He's
for
so
Andrea
upset
since
that
like
she's still
the
there.
beginning. Yeah, he's like, she should not be back here. Get rid of her. Like her and Dave, he does not like.
He can't stand that they're
Yeah.
still there and still being frantic.
I
and she's just making bowel movement food.
I think Steven's one of those people that you couldn't say the word poop to. Like my wife's family is like that. You aren't allowed to say poop around them. Like it's like I have to go to the water closet. Like
The water closet.
no, you know, that's I'm exaggerating, but you would never say like I have to poop. You'd be like, excuse me, like. And
when do you ever announce that you're gonna?
my family is very open to what we're doing. If you're gonna be away for like 4 minutes,
that's probably why you guys weren't behind the curve when it came to AOL.
Yeah, because if we were open, it's very important. I think that we talk about in that clip. We learn what a chef's biggest nightmare is, because like I was way in left field with what I thought a chef's biggest nightmare.
What was yours?
Well, I thought a chef's biggest nightmare would be the food coming to life and attacking them and then putting them in a pot or sauteing them. Like to me, that would be a chef's biggest nightmare, but apparently it's not.
No, I think a chef's biggest nightmare is the kitchen knives coming to life, and then them kind of like in the Beauty of the Beast, the chandelier singing, like the cups and saucers dancing around. Because how do you get them to stay still so you can make a meal?
Yeah. So they're not actually going to attack them. They're just dancing and singing, and that's bad.
Yeah, and it's creating a lot of chaos while you're trying to cook.
Yeah.
I think it's the sugar salt thing. And that's what they call lazy comedy.
If it works, it works.
Why don't we listen to the lazy losers of this competition who didn't put a lot of effort in? Clip 14.
Now he's not even saying please play clip 14. He's just saying the clip.
Yeah, decorum's out the window, man.
You are the bottom 3 tonight. One of you will be going home.
Dave, I think there was flavor in your dish, and I know that's really important to you, but the vegetables were lacking. Some of them had flavor, some of them didn't. What was your feeling when you got the fish dish?
When I chose it, I just wanted to try to work with it, and something that was really important for me was to really try to keep it light and not use oils, butters, fats. I guess kind of infuse some of Andrea's concepts in the way she does things.
I think you were thinking so much about trying to respect Andrea's vision that you didn't put enough of yourself in the dish.
I know. I'm not ready to give up on her. I'm not ready to give up on myself. I'm very passionate about what I do because I really am talented, damn it. And I'm pissed that I just keep... I'm holding myself back in that. And I would like more time to prove that I can do it because I know I can.
We appreciate that, but I can tell you at this table here, it is about the food.
Boom.
Yeah, just quick pause. Tom's really mean there. Dave's having a bad day. Not as bad as a day as Miguel, who did a big doozy, but like Dave's having a bad day, and
Dave's having a bad day.
Tom just fucking shits on his face.
Yeah, Tom likes to kick people when they're down. Like he seems to take pleasure in that. At least this episode.
Fucking
Yeah, he is like really working through some shit. He's like, like it takes a lot to sit in front of someone who's judging you and be like, I know I'm talented. It takes a lot, and then just Tom Colicchio to be like, yeah, fuck you. This is get better.
Yeah, it didn't taste good.
Miguel, how do you feel about tonight?
I had a bad night from the get. The concept of a dish was that you start off with a cheese and cracker, which I executed, and I thought I did okay on that.
What's the name of the cheese?
The cheese?
You still don't remember, huh?
No, chef.
Fourme d'Ambert.
Fourme d'Ambert. Yes, chef.
God damn.
Jesus, Tom.
You know what it is, and maybe this is just my personal experience. It reminds me of like a teacher making you go in front of your classroom and answer a problem that they know you don't know the answer to, and you can't answer it, and then they try and and their like response is just kind of like, well, that's not the right answer. What's the right answer? And you're just kind of like, I don't know how to do it.
And they just embarrass you in front of the class. They don't even help you really. They just think like, you don't know it. I know you don't know it, and I'm just gonna pull you up here from everyone, so everyone knows that you don't know the answer to stuff.
It was supposed to be the sorbet, but it tasted awful. I confused salt for sugar. But I don't think that came up in the final product. I thought that I was able to regroup myself and fix that up, Chef.
Miguel.
Yeah, Chef.
Leanne and Tiffany thought you were an absolute mess back there, and Tiffany thought you should go home.
I disagree. I did have a moment, and I regrouped myself. If I would have walked out of the kitchen, I agree. You know what? I would have packed up my knives and left right away. But I realized that, you know what, there was a more important task, and it wasn't about me. So.
Do you think that he initially just said, I would have left, and then, like, the producers jumped in and were like, can you just say that again and say, like, packed up your knives? And left? Just because it's like, it goes with the theme of the show.
I think so. Because there is a cut right there where you can see an edit goes back to Tom and then back to Miguel.
Yeah.
Right before he says that. So I'm pretty sure they did it on the second take.
Just more mean. Like, Miguel admits to doing salt instead of sugar. And, like, he's like, yeah, I fucked up today. And I did this thing and it's... And Tom's like, yeah, but you know your friends are talking shit about you. They said...
Yeah, he's just stirring. I mean, and this is what the Riddler does when you think about it. Like, the Riddler really gets in there and just stirs the pot and gets friends fighting with other friends. I'm sure there was an episode of the Batman world where Batman and Robin and his friend, the Iron Man or whatever, he got them all arguing with each other. And this is what's happening right now.
Yeah,
Miguel's basically Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. When Iron Man and Batman started arguing in that DC Batman episode, that was so fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was crazy when Big Bird showed up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep playing the clip.
Really striking out today.
Evidently, they feel that I'm the biggest challenge. That's how I see it.
Andrea, seen that dish before, caviar, pancakes. Did you feel you had to interpret the dish the way Miguel set it up, or did you feel free to do something else with it?
No, actually, I just made the latkes.
See, and that's why you're here, because that's all you made were the latkes, and we thought it was a poor decision to serve them cold.
You're right.
What did you bring to that recipe that made it something from you?
I put scallions in.
That sounds like a garnish. I mean...
Well, for some people it's a garnish, but for me a scallion is so much more. It's, it's part of the allium family, it's rich in sulfur compounds.
Your philosophy about eating healthy is terrific, and it's great in day-to-day eating, but this is a competition. You need to blow the socks off of these people. It needs to be whiz-bang, decadent, wow.
Right there, Ted Allen is mad because she didn't make good food at his book opening, his book signing. So that was Ted Allen being like, don't worry, Tom, you don't need to step in here. I'm going to be the bad guy now.
And and of course now everyone knows the origin of that very popular phrase, whiz bang decadent wow. You guys heard where that came from now. So when like your friends, wear a funny t-shirt that says whiz bang decadent wow, you know that it came from Ted Allen on Top Chef Season 1, Episode 6.
Guess who's coming to dinner? Why don't we see what happened when they sent them back to have deliberation, and what happened between the competitors when they found out, oh, you guys are talking crap about me? Because Miguel's already having a bad day, and if I know one thing, you don't want to poke the hornet's nest.
Hi guys.
Hello.
What's going on? They said there were a couple of you that felt that I should go home. So I think I'd like to hear from those people why they feel I should go home.
I think you made some really novice mistakes tonight, like, for instance, the salt sugar thing. That just happens when you let your nerves overtake you. I never said that I thought it was time for you to go home.
None of us saying he's lying.
None of us said
You're calling Tom Colicchio a liar.
Okay, I'm not going to...
No, I'm asking you a question. Ask my question. Answer my question. The answer is yes or no. Are you threatened by me?
No, I'm not
Do you
threatened
feel
by
that?
you. You've taken myself out of this conversation.
So you feel threatened, okay.
Don't get confrontational. If you want to have a conversation with me, I'll have it with you, but it's going to be on a very human, professional
Tiffany,
level.
you kidding me? You're the most confrontational person in this house. I have one war, and it's with you. I'll have 2 eyes on you in front of me and 1 eye behind me. You're a snake.
The snake thing is great. 2 eyes in the front looking and 1 eye in the back of his head looking.
I like that so much that because it's a clear. I'm thinking that he was like, having 4 eyes is too much work. That's or it's just like 4 eyes is ridiculous. But if
He
I
also
just have,
doesn't want to wear glasses either.
yeah, he's like, I don't want to wear glasses. I have perfect vision with these 2 eyes. Just one in the back. That's enough.
I mean, I think in 2005, 2006, contacts were also really expensive still. It existed before 1-800-CONTACTS. So, like, if he had contacts in those, he wouldn't want 4 or 5 eyes. Like, 3 is the most you'd want to do.
Yeah. Well, there is that edit that we saw where he does say, he's like 4, and he's like, no, that's too expensive. I have 1 eye in my back, in the back of my head that I can watch it with because I can't afford that. That's too much money for that. Corrective lenses for all that.
And also, one of my favorite things in reality TV is when somebody lies, like knowing that it's all filmed. Like she's like, I never said you should go home directly. Like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Um,
Which speaks to her
yeah.
character. If you're willing to lie, you know it's been recorded, then all right.
He nails her. He says she's the like most confrontational person in the house, and she really is. He like he's like, hey, just say it to my face. Basically, she doesn't do it. She also says, you made a lot of novice mistakes. For instance, the salt and sugar thing. That's the only mistake he made.
Yeah.
Other than that, he did a good job.
Yeah, other than that, the cheese and crackers is pretty good.
Yeah, but so I emailed Tom because we only see the one mistake on TV, and that's the salt and sugar thing. And I said, hey, like Tiffany says, you made some novice mistakes, but there's only one that we see. Like, what were the other mistakes? Tom told me that Miguel also had his shirt inside out.
Okay. I mean, but that shouldn't affect his cooking though, right? I guess
that
that
shouldn't have, but
that's a not, but if it's just, you don't specify with being a chef, it's just like a mistake, just putting on clothes, maybe someone that is an expert at putting on clothes wouldn't make. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, he also said that Tim Burton directed A Nightmare Before Christmas, but we all know that he just like presented Nightmare Before Christmas. He didn't actually direct it. So another mistake that Miguel made was he was like, "Oh yeah, that movie that Tim Burton directed," but we know that's a mistake. And I'll do a third one. The other mistake that he made is that so he brought a bunch of jelly beans for everyone to share, and he's like, these are everyone's jelly beans. You guys can have all the jelly beans you want, just don't eat the black ones, they're my favorite. So everyone ate all the jelly beans, there's only black jelly beans left. He's like, yes, my favorite. And he ate one and he goes, ew, these are gross. Oh man, I meant the purple ones are the ones that I like. So he made a big mistake that way. He was stuck with just a bowl full of anise flavored jelly beans.
I mean, I can believe it.
Yeah, I can see
that. Sound like that did happen with the jelly beans, especially when we saw, the challenge last week where they were eating all that junk food. So I mean, he definitely seems like the type of guy that had a whole bowl of jelly beans hanging around. I also want to point out that during this whole clip, it is interspersed with clips of Dave, hysterically crying while holding the glass of wine.
Yeah.
And I counted, and that clip is what, like maybe 30 seconds or whatever, something around that. Like it's not super long, and I can't. It 5 times they show, and it's the same repeat of him. He's crying very hard with a glass of wine, and they just the same point they show 5 times. So it affected
He's not
Dave.
even in the discussion.
No, but he's a bit of an empath. I think it's a byproduct of being a vampire.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with Tom fucking cooking him.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Actually, I think that was just after. Here's what I think really happened. I think he got cooked. He went to the back and he just didn't say anything to anyone. Poured a glass of wine, started drinking, and then someone was like, so what happened? And then that's immediately how you just started
brought it all right back.
To say what Tom said to him, and it just brought out the tears. Which he did. He got burned, so I get it. I'd cry.
I would cry
I would.
If I was on reality TV, that's all I would do was cry.
I would have asked them. I would be like, "You don't have to replay the cry so many times, though."
Like show it once. Everyone can assume that I'm still crying. But I'm crying hard enough that it didn't start and stop. It kept going. Obviously,
yeah,
this was a long cry.
You don't have to keep showing it.
Do you guys think
the big thing that's happening here is Miguel and Tiffany being confronted? You don't have to show me crying though. So let's talk about someone who is crying as well, which is the person who gets eliminated this week. And wouldn't you guess, it's Andrea, who gets eliminated by making Miguel's dish smoked scallops and caviar on a latke. She doesn't a lot. Did I say that wrong?
Latke?
Latke, sorry. Caviar on a latke.
It's pronounced scallops.
Anyways, so she gets eliminated because she really only makes a latke, and it was cold at that. Why don't we listen to Andrea get eliminated for a second time in the same
the
season?
Chef's so good, she was eliminated
twice.
Andrea, please pack your knives and go. Thank you.
I am sad to see you go. Really. You truly have been a real friend here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Just pause real quick. Normally when someone says you've been a real good friend, you like say it back to them.
Yeah.
She's like, thank you. I have been a good friend.
I have been. I wish I could say the same to you, Miguel.
Just like she's like, I barely talk. Have they talked at all? Have we seen them? I think they worked together one challenge.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
But also, she's not going to be Tiffany. She's not going to be fake and say, like, she's just like, well, I know what I said at the beginning of this episode. I know what I said about Miguel. Yeah,
you should go home.
Yeah, and she's the one going home.
That's the checkoff. That's the checkoff.
That's see, this does feel. It's like the Chekhov's. I was gonna say Chekhov's gun, but that doesn't really work at all in this situation. Just Chekhov in general. It's very good, very smart. Top
That's great
Chef
production. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. I also want to note that Andrea uses a normal bag this time to put her knives away. It's not in a big jacket. She's not putting a butcher knife in a jacket that insinuates she's about to go murder someone. So I guess her murdering is behind her now.
Yeah. Well, she's been murdering the competition.
All right, y'all. Packing my knife. But it was nice. I had a good time hanging with all y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all.
Baby, I'm so glad you got to come back.
We were all sad to see her go. I've never met a person more passionate about how to eat right.
Pleasure meeting you.
I think she's going to change a lot of lives.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
We're all here for different reasons. Not everyone's here to win. Some people are here for the impact they make in other people's lives.
All right, good luck, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Take care.
My experience with the chefs in the house has been fantastic. Working in these kitchen environments has really solidified my desire to continue to do what I do. You know, I'm going back to my clients, to creating healthy recipes, because I'm great at it.
So when she says she's great at it, does she think that because a recipe gives you a bowel movement, that it's a great recipe? And that's all that needs to be considered, because that seems to be her thing every week. Has been like, yeah, I know it's competition, but this meal will give you a good bowel movement.
Yeah, I mean, I think in her mind, and also in the reality of what she's doing, is like she's saving lives with
that's true.
The food that she makes and how easy it is for people to shit after they eat her food. I mean,
true.
she saved Ted's life. I'm sure she's
that
saved.
happened.
That happened. And you know what? But she also, I feel like, probably does take lives with that whole murder thing that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a balance there. But she definitely does seem like someone that was not here in any way to win the competition. She just really wanted people to have bowel movements. That was her goal.
That was what she said, how she really won.
Yeah. When she was first
Is that-
eliminated, I think she did the thing of not understanding the rules, where she was like, "Oh, I've had a good time. That's like fine. This is all I needed." This time, it's Leanne, I think, that says, not everyone came to this competition to win it, which I feel like is the shadiest thing you could say.
No, that
Oh,
was
of course.
Tiffany. Tiffany
Yeah.
said it again.
Could you imagine like trying really hard at something and then failing it, and then someone saying, "Yeah, not everyone wanted to be good at this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just like telling you, like, hey, it's not a big deal. You got to, you didn't even really want to win this.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
I
But
did.
you were here and you changed people's lives.
We are gonna miss Andrea. She was in fact the only piece of ass left on the show.
Oh gosh.
That's not me, that's Brian, the other Brian, saying that with an eye from the TV show. As we know from a few episodes ago, she was the person that he liked the best.
That's true. We will miss her, but we won't miss her next week because next week is a big week because we get to see Restaurant Wars for the very first time. I hope you buckle in because it's a pay-per-view event.
Yeah, it's pay-per-view. You're gonna have to pay for that episode. It's $49.95. The episode, normally these episodes are like an hour and 10 minutes. This one is gonna be 4 hours. Which you might think like, well, that's longer than the episode. Well, we're gonna watch it 4 times, baby.
Yep.
And we're gonna comment over it every single time.
Every single thing.
And the jokes will probably be the same each time.
Yep.
So that's a cool $49.95 to pay for that. You can just PayPal us that. You can send it to Tom if you need to, but he'll get the money on us.
Brian, do you have anything else?
Yeah. We did a good job. This was a good episode. This was fun to do. Do you guys want to check in real quick? Did you guys have fun?
I had fun.
I had fun too. I guess, do we need to keep this dynamic of Jamal hosting and Brian just playing the clips? Or do we need to revisit that at all?
I'd love to revisit it. I think anyone, the only way you learn to do something is by failing at it a couple of times. So I feel like if Brian wants to try hosting, giving hosting a shot again, even though I've made it look like something that like is very easy and normal to do. If Brian wants to try hosting again, I'm open to it.
Brian, does that seem like something you would want to do maybe for Restaurant Wars? I mean, I know that's a big episode. It's our pay-per-view episode.
Yeah. Your hesitation seems like a yes. So yeah.
I'm gonna. Did you say my hesitation seems like a yes?
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I think he did say yes.
I mean, it sounded like you're like thinking of it because you're like, I'm getting excited about hosting.
I was trying to decide if I should refuse once and then take it again, like with money, but I was afraid that if I said no, you guys were like, all right, I'll do it then. Bye. Pack your knives and go. No, I will host it. And I've taken those UCB classes on hosting a podcast. As you guys know, we're in week 6 right now. Our performance is next week. It'll be right before we do an extra chord, so I think I'll be good to go.
What's your performance showcase called? What's the podcast you guys landed on? The podcast.
Oh, so we each make our own podcast. It's not like everyone doing the same thing. So mine is called "What to Do When Expecting a Delivery from Amazon."
Nice.
It's just like it's basically like things to do like as you're waiting for something to come. So I have a guest on. I'm like, hey, like, what do you do when you're waiting for something? Like, what's
No, I get it. The title says it
Yeah.
all. I get it.
So check that out. It's $5. It's gonna be at UCB Hell's Kitchen. It's $5.
Should be online. It's not gonna be online.
No, it's in person. We wanted to do it digitally, but Matt Besser was very adamant about it being in person. He said to make sure you invite all of your UCB friends.
That's good of Matt to be involved in the New York UCB.
He's decided to give it another shot. Yeah,
that's good. No mess. All right. Well, that was episode 6 of season 1. Guess who's coming to dinner? And that's it for us until next week at Restaurant Wars, season 1, episode 7. We had fun. We hope you had fun. Until next time, we're gonna pack our knives and go.